Welcome back to our Pawed Crew. I'm Danielle, and together with my husband Hairo and our 7 rescue dogs, we're traveling the world. Good morning from the bow of the boat. So we're the last sailboats here in Utila at the moment. It's a super calm weather window right now, and so the last 3 sailboats just left to go back to the Rio Dulce. But we're sticking around Honduras, which is a little late into the hurricane season. The risk of a hurricane coming here is pretty low, and we'll just keep an eye out. But Hairo and I are actually on our way to Europe. So my parents are flying down to watch the dogs for us. We're so lucky. I know, my parents are amazing. They say they really like it, and they get to come be on a sailboat in the Caribbean for a couple weeks with our dogs. And it's a nice time for them just to get to relax and have a little vacation.
She hasn't seen me yet.
Went the wrong way, huh?
Yeah.
Really excited. It's beautiful. It's so calm, sunny, blue skies again. Saying goodbye to our Pawed Crew is the hardest thing for me to do, even for short periods of time. And we were leaving for a few weeks. Once my parents were settled in the boat, and Hairo and I had everything ready, it was time to begin the long journey over to Europe from Central America. We left from Utila, took the ferry over to Roatan. And then a plane to San Pedro Sula on the mainland of Honduras. We had a connection in El Salvador, and then finally, the long stretch over the Atlantic, taking us to Europe and landing in Madrid, Spain. This is Hairo's first time going to Europe, and the first time for him also leaving Central America. Imagine going from Central America to Europe for the first time. It's a pretty mind-altering experience. As we wandered Madrid, enjoyed churros, hopped on trains, all those highs and lows that come with travel. Hairo's cousin Elias lives in Barcelona with his lovely wife Mari, who gave us a real VIP tour of the city top to bottom. I knew that was so special for Hairo to get to experience that in Spain. The next day, we headed to my soul city of Rome. I just can't go to Europe without going through Rome. And to get to share a place I love so much, just Europe in general, with the person I love so much. And to see the wonder as he took it all in for the first time. made it kind of the best trip I've ever been on yet. We ate and ate and ate, as you do when you're in Italy. After we finished this big meal, we had to run across Rome. We've just run to make it to this audio tour of the Forum. But we made it just in time. My audio guide was in English and Hairo's was in Spanish, so we both got the most out of it that way. I'll put a link to this experience down in the description below. It was a really neat way to see some of the history of ancient Rome.
They were raised with special cranes and pulleys. The exact place you are standing now was still buried at the time of Julius Caesar, completely covered by the lower slopes of the Campidoglio, which stretched until that point.
We took a peek at the Colosseum. We'll be back tomorrow. We hiked all over town just like you do. We gawked with everyone else at the Trevi Fountain and at all the Instagrammers and TikTokers in front of the fountain. I reserved the entrance into the Colosseum for the arena floor. We thought we wanted to do the whole tour under the arena floor and upstairs, but they were all sold out. And it turned out to be okay because we really were short on time. If you can do it once in your lifetime, I do recommend it. And then you try to get into the real heart of the place. Okay, you gotta look for the symbol on the floor that tells us we're in the very, very center. ¿Qué piensa? Rico. Todo eso era 4 euros. Poquillo, ¿eh? Digo yo. Next, we were on our way up to Nice, but we got to do a night in Florence, and then as we took the train up and over through Tuscany and got to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. When we arrived in Nice, it was reunion time with my sister Shauna, her husband Camus, and their 3 little kids, Adeline, Remy, and Everly, who we all call Peachy. Was such a cool girl. Maddie, their amazing au pair, was there as well. Some highlights of our time in southern France were going over to Monaco, doing a little boat shopping. We decided we're happy with Isla. These ones look like way too much maintenance. We went up to the medieval town of Ez, high up on a cliff towering over the sea. We enjoyed bicycle riding along the promenade in Nice and a dip in the very chilly water. I still pinch myself looking back on this trip. These are just the kind of memories that are worth more than gold. And we certainly left a lot of our gold behind in exchange, but it was totally worth it.
Hi, Danny.
Next, the whole gang traveled up through Provence, spending a few days in the wine region.
Oh, she looks so pretty.
Got a flat tire on the city wall of Avignon on Shawnee's birthday and just dove in deep to some of these cute little provincial towns. If you're looking for a place to spend really quality time with family and friends, and you just want a laid-back ambiance of strolling the streets and cute cafes, Provence is the place to go. After a few days in Provence, we went up to Lyon, and for a few days we parted ways while Hairo and I went over to the Alps, and Shauna and family went up to Burgundy to do some more wine tasting. This was Hairo's first time ever seeing snow, and I was 800,000 times more excited than he was, but it was still amazing. Also, as someone from Costa Rica, he had never ever seen mountains like that, like the Alps. For your friend there. Your friend. Are you ready to take him on my fingers? Good job. Wanna try? No more? Very brave. You're very brave. Do a little bit for me? Want some more? And then it was time to go down and have a big finale, meeting back up with Shauna and family in Paris. So we brought a little wine to the park. Mi amor, agarra eso, un segundo. I got a 750 milliliter cold bottle that fits a whole bottle of wine in it, and it keeps it cold. And then we found this amazing Amazon buy. We're not sponsored, but I've been carrying this all over Europe, and I honestly think it's one of the better things I've gotten. I'll put the link below, but it's little glasses in a little bottle that's, I like to carry it like that. It just fits in like the water pocket on the side of your backpack. And then have little cute, they're plastic, but wine glasses wherever you go, so don't end up drinking out of a styrofoam cup or something when you're drinking nice French wine in the park. We got to see some of the opening Olympic events. and we were just in time for Bastille Day and the fireworks and the whole city coming together to celebrate. By the time we were headed home, we wished we could just stay forever, but we couldn't wait to get home at the same time and see our dogs. If only we could magically transport them to Europe with the boat. Someday. Meanwhile, back on the boat, my parents had a close scare when the Hurricane Beryl surprised everyone and headed towards them for a few days. Luckily for them, changing course. When we got to Honduras, they almost wouldn't let us back in. There was a requisite for a police report for Hairo, since he's from Costa Rica, that we had never heard of, had not been asked for previously, that suddenly they were firmly not going to let him in. And they were going to put him back on a plane, not to Costa Rica or one of the other 5 places we'd stopped on our way, but all the way back to Madrid. We were both in tears in the airport. Oh my gosh. But luckily, an amazing attorney and friend in Costa Rica stepped up and got us his police report, which it was seriously just so close and looked like it wasn't going to happen there for a minute. So when we got home to our boat and our dogs and were able to give my parents a huge hug and say thank you for everything, I don't think either of us have ever been more grateful, more relieved, and happier to be home. So now that we're back in Utila, my parents have gone home and we are very, very seriously needing to consider getting our buns out of here and getting back to safety. So we're heading to the Rio Dulce of Guatemala, which is a great hurricane hole here in the Caribbean. Hurricane season is in full force and we have definitely outstayed our welcome out here. It is time to get our sailboat to safety. If you have a shallower draft, there's a great mangrove here in Utila that you can get your boat into, but unfortunately we have a 1.9 meter, so about 6 foot draft, 6.5 foot draft. We're not able to get in through the shallow inlet. There are some times of year and some tides that it might be possible, but when suddenly you've got a hurricane coming towards you and time is of the essence, it's not something we could mess around with, considering we might not be able to get to safety. We're so glad to be back. We're sorry it's been a while. It's been 5 months. We have a lot to share. So next week we'll bring you up to date. Hairo and I go to leave Utila and our engine fails. And instead of staying around and trying to get our engine fixed, we take off completely under sail for the 100-mile journey back to Guatemala. Will we make it? This will be officially our 3rd time ever putting the sails up. And so we learn by baptism by wind. Thank you so much for being here. We would love it if you would subscribe. It's that little button down below. It's not really a subscription or anything. It's free. It's just telling YouTube that you'd like to see more of our videos. You'll be part of our Pawed Crew community, which is the most important thing. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. We've got a lot of adventure ahead. See you next time.